What up, guys? Welcome to another video. Um, trying out some new lighting settings. Looks a little better than my other videos where I've used like a white light. This is more of a yellow light, and it already looks a lot better. Okay, so I wanted to come on here to talk about a subject, a word that although it is talked about in today's day, it's talked about in a manner that in which it shouldn't. I believe it's talked about in the opposite way of what it should be talked about. And the word that I will be talking about today is the P word. It starts with P and it ends with N. And no, it's not plankton. A little SpongeBob joke. um so I went on a walk and I want to read you guys this. Um I have it written down in my notes, and it's just to kind of set off the what we'll be talking about today, right? So today I will be talking about the P word. It starts with P and it ends with N. And no, I already said that joke. The word I will discuss is the word that's destroying the minds of millions of men. The word that's destroying relationships, dreams, motivation, and the potential of many. I'd say it's very much a spiritual cancer for men. What begins as a small spiritual tumor eventually grows into a sickness that will bring spiritual death. A silent epidemic in today's day. A thing that is now mainstream, accepted, and even glorified. Satan's number one weapon when it comes to halting the upbringing of warriors for Yahuwah, our Heavenly Father. So, I'll say the word. Apparently, you can't say it, but I'll just say corn, right? So, I want to talk about uh, corn and the effects that it's having on millions of young adults and the effects that it's had on me. Um, Aside from this being a video to bring awareness to the subject, it's very much a video of me coming out and putting myself at the forefront of this disease, this spiritual disease, right? Because I am very much a victim of it. Um, so this video, it really is just to expose myself, right? Because there's videos that talk about the subject and telling people, oh, don't watch, don't indulge in these activities, don't go on these websites, right? Don't partake, but they never really tell you the effects. They don't really tell you um what it can cause and what it will do. And I'm here to speak about that, right? Being somebody who has suffered with um overindulging, partaking in this for many years, I could tell you right now that it is, like I mentioned, very much a spiritual cancer, in the sense that it will delay your blessings. It will kill your confidence. It's killed my confidence. It's killed my motivation, it's killed my perception, and like just destroyed my perception when it comes to relationships, right? Or being with a girl. I know firsthand that it very much has, and aside from it, doing all those things, it's hurt people around me, and it's it's made me be filled with a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, a lot of embarrassment. Very well should it, right? I should be ashamed, and I should be embarrassed, and I should be disgusted with myself. And this is what this video is. It's to like put myself in that light, that spotlight that I have been um that I have been hiding from for very much time, right? Every time that light gets close to me, right? You can imagine like um like those like spotlights at a in an auditorium or something like that. And every time it's getting close to me, I run from it. And I run from it because of shame, and I run from it because of embarrassment, and I run from it because I don't want to accept that it is something that I have been dealing with for a big part of my life. It is something that I've resorted to when I was stressed, when I was happy, when I was sad, when I wanted to feel something, right? When I didn't like myself, when I hated myself. And it's not only has it made it worse, it's made it worse. Um it's very much destroyed me. And I know destroyed sounds very dramatic, right? But literally, not literally, but really it has. It has put a it has weakened the connection between me and our heavenly Father. It has hurt the people around me, those that I have been in relationships with. It has, like I mentioned, killed my motivation, my confidence. It has done so much bad for me, and it's gotten to the point where like I need to accept the fact. I need to um put myself in this situation where I'm not ignoring this truth anymore, and that truth is that I've been dealing with this addiction for a long time. Um all right, I'm a just so that we know what an addiction is, I'm gonna read the definition. Let me have my computer turn on. All right, so what is an addiction? An addiction is a chronic, relapsing brain disease characterized by compulsive drug seeking substance use or engagement in behaviors like gambling. Despite harmful consequences, it involves a loss of control, cravings, and functional changes to brain circuits related to reward, stress, and self control. As you can tell, I'm blind. Um, I'm saving up for LASIK eye surgery. Um, so yeah, I say this with a lot of shame and a lot of guilt and a lot of embarrassment. But I'm making this video because I know there is a lot of men that are dealing with this, and maybe they don't realize it, right? They don't want to acknowledge it. And part of that reason is because it's become something that is very much accepted in today's day, right? We could look at it with and we see this with the word goon, right? Gooning. What used to be a word that was used to describe somebody who was partaking in, like, I don't know, like thuggish illegal activities, right? Or somebody who was up to no good, I guess you could say. You would call him a goon. And now they've totally switched the definition of that word, and they made it something that you could call somebody who partakes in these activities. And that just lets you know where we are as a society here in the United States, where a word that is describing an action that brings like so much negative effects, so much hurt, and just, man, like I'm telling you, it destroys you as a man. It is something that is popular, it is something that is accepted, it is something that has this almost like a positive connotation to it, right? Like there's even a term for it, gooning. Like, what is going on, man? If you partake in these in this action, like, you should be ashamed, you should be embarrassed, like I am, right? And I've come a long way in my in this journey. It used to be something that was honestly done like once a day, multiple times a day. And um now it's something that is almost periodic for me, like every now and then, but it's something that I can't, um like, I just want to put an end to it, right? And I know I will. I know I will. And this video is also to let you guys know that, to those of you who have suffered or are suffering, you know, I've thought about this, like, I've asked I've asked God. I've seen testimonies of people being delivered, and they go from one day to another and they never have to deal with that, right? And I'll ask God, like, I'll go months, I'll go weeks, I'll go days, and I end up falling back into it. And I'll ask God, like, why? Why can't this stop? Why am I weak? Why am I this weak man? I know you can cure me. I know you could fix me. I know you can. And I was thinking about this for for a long time. I've been pondering on that idea. And you know, I prayed for it and I got my answer. And God told me, He said, "Son, I want you to show this world um, that it is possible to overcome this. That, like Paul said, you can be transformed by the renewal of your mind." He said, I want you to be a testimony that through your strength, through your obedience, and through your ability to have this desire to overcome, that you will, through Him, right? Because the majority of people believe that it is something that is they're going to have to deal with, right? But it's not. I will overcome this. I will come to, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I'm taking the steps and the actions to overcome this. And I just wanted to make this video to bring some awareness to this, right? And not only that, but as a first person who has suffered with this firsthand, to let you know that you will overcome this, to fight, to continue taking those steps, right? To continue making the changes throughout your day, right? Like the parable where Yeshua, or Jesus, he talks about how, if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off. Obviously, don't cut off your right hand or left or whatever, but you know, take those steps throughout your day that you know you need to be doing, right? Say those words of affirmations. Um, a really good book that I read that I have right here. Oh, this book, right? The Chimp Paradox, right? And what that book goes over is how your chimp, your amygdala, the emotional part of your brain, um, it's very hard to control, right? Because like a chimp is 4 times stronger than a human. You have your amygdala and then you have your frontal cortex that is it's in charge of the logical thinking of your brain, and then your chimp is that emotional part, right? And basically through repetition and through pretty much engraving in your mind some behaviors, you've pretty much reinforced and you've allowed the chimp to take control when it comes to those certain habits. Because when the chimp gets that signal, it looks into the computer of your brain, right? It looks for that information and it then it reacts based off of that information. And so a big part of it's called neuroplasticity, right? So it's a big part of being able to overcome addictions or overcome just any kind of like negative behavior is to reinforce positive thoughts, positive behaviors, to then almost train your chimp to have it be able to calm down and or react to a certain situation, keywords, or anything, right? And so if you are somebody who just likes reading self-improvement books or is learning to wants to learn more about how the brain works, or how we work as humans, this is a really good book, right? I recommend it. um and then another book that I recently read that kind of inspired me to make this video is this book uh, called Best Loser Wins by Tom Hugard. He is a high stakes day trader, and that is something that I uh, investing, trading, finance, I'm all for it. I really like it. So, in one part in his book, he talks about how um, he suffered with alcoholism, right? He had an addiction to alcohol that was caused through one of his breakups, right? And it got to the point where he was just over consuming this substance. And it got to a point where he went to an AA meeting and right, he was in front of all these people and he came forward. He said, "Hi, my name's Tom Hugard and I am an alcohol addict," right? And he said in that moment, it was like he was naked and it felt like he was finally freeing himself from that shame, from that guilt, and that was the first step forward to really overcoming that addiction that he had. And so this video is for that, for me. And like, I'm very much ashamed for this. I don't even, to be honest, I don't want to upload this, right? um and I'm not embarrassed or shameful because you, who are a random person, is going to watch this video. No, I am ashamed because one day my brothers, my mom, my sister, family, friends from back home, they will stumble upon this video and all I have to say to you is, to you guys, and I'm speaking to my family and my friends, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I let myself come to this point where I have to make a video like this. I'm sorry that you have a son, a friend, or a brother, who is dealing with this. Um, but I will overcome. I know I will. And you will too if you are somebody who suffers with this, right? And like I said, a lot of men will not acknowledge this. They will not they won't even, yeah, a lot of men won't admit. But this is very much a silent epidemic. We see this through the rise of OnlyFans. It's very much mainstream, and it just lets you know, who's in control of this world, who runs this world, and that's Satan. Only Satan would um make something like this mainstream, right? And another thing is, you know, the reason why these websites are free is because you end up paying with your soul. And to all those of you who, this video went way longer than what I wanted it to, but to all those who have dealt with this or are dealing with this, or maybe you aren't at the point where it's become an issue, I encourage you to stop, to and if you need help, you know, we have a amazing God who will give you the tools, who will give you the understanding and the wisdom to overcome this, right? And it's you know, deliverance is a process, right? Some of us are fortunate for to, you know, overcome this in a day, and some of us, we need to show the world that through God everything is possible, right? So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for clicking on this video. I hope this video was maybe a wake-up call to some, a warning to others, and very hard video to make for me. But we need more awareness to this subject, because man, this lust in general, right? It's it's literally the cause of, if you look in the Bible, a lot of the kings, like David, um what's the other one? Oh my god, I forgot his name. The one that came after David. Can't believe I can't remember his name. Um a lot of these kings, the downfall was lust. It was women. So it's very important as a man that you learn to control these urges. You know, you learn to pretty much have power over it, right? And I mean, look at rappers, man. Like some rappers, they get set up by women. So, you know, not saying women are bad, right? No, like women are, they have their role, we have our role. You know, there is a reason why it is the way it is. But as men, we have to keep ourselves in check. Um, and think, you know, with this head. Because if we don't, um, we'll find ourselves in situations that we wish we were never in, but for some reason God puts us in, right? So again, this video went a little longer than I expected it, but I had to make this video. I knew one day I would make this video when I started this channel, because as somebody who has dealt with this. I need to. I feel like it is. It's I, if anyone, should be making a video like this um to let the world know about the effects. And there are so many effects, man. You know, the killing of motivation, confidence, and your perception of the opposite sex is just a handful of them, but you have others like, ED. Oh, and I want to talk about that. What are we seeing right now being promoted, being advertised, being pushed onto the youth? Blue Chew, honey packs, these cures. You could almost, they're not gonna tell you that it's a cure, but it's too pretty right. So they create this problem, right? And man, like, it's so crazy. They'll create the problem, and then it's like the pharmaceutical companies, right? Let's get them sick, and then let's get them on medication. Well, what are they doing with this silent epidemic of corn? Um, let's let's get them addicted. Let's get them to the point where, because one thing that people don't realize is that when you are partaking in these actions, and this is actually something that my brother made me realize, and he said how the reason why uh partaking in this action brings erectile dysfunction to us men is because you're desensitizing your private part, right? You're getting it used to a certain force, a certain feel that the other sex isn't gonna give you, right? So you're desensitized yourself, your mind, to this feeling, and when you don't feel that feeling, of course you're not gonna feel anything, because like you've messed up your brain, man. You've messed up your dopamine receptors. Your idea of what it is to make to procreate and to make love. You've destroyed that. So they get you to partake in these activities, they mainstream it, and then they sell you Blue Chew. Like, look at even some of the biggest podcasts like Theo Vaughn, Joe Rogan. I don't know if Joe Rogan actually does it, but they'll advertise Blue Chew, right? And Blue Chew is it's like this thing that's supposed to give you the ability to maybe last longer in bed, or even perform. And that's the thing, perform, right? Again, your perception is all messed up, because now you look at it as performing, when reality, like, sex between a man and a female is like something so, like, it's something very holy and very beautiful and very yeah, very beautiful, very very intimate, very something that should be very, it's just like just think about it. The idea of that is like something that holds so much value, but yet we've devalued it to the point where it's I mean, just look at how the world is, right? So it's not a coincidence that the increase and the advertisement of these things towards men it's at where it's at today. No, it's a result of this silent epidemic that people don't talk about, right? So um again, handful of, I mean, um so many just detrimental effects from this action. But enough yapping from me. This video is now 30 minutes long. Holy crap, I didn't expect it to be this long. I'll probably edit it a little and make it shorter, but thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for clicking. I hope you took something from this video, some value, motivation, inspiration. I hope that your day continues to go in the favor of our Heavenly Father, right? And in His will. I hope and I pray blessings upon you, your family, loved ones, friends, and all those around you. I just hope, and you continue to have a good night and a good day, and thank you for watching, and thank you for everything. Yeah, you guys have a good night.